Hello, and welcome to Baki Talkie Season 2, Episode 7, Kaio. Why is this one called Kaio and not the other 6 episodes about Kaios? And why is it not called, Emperor Kaio? Who knows? But this is a good one. A lot happens in this episode. And so, to cover it all, I've got my wonderful wife, Lindsay.
Hello, I'm the wife of the Steve.
The Steve, the one and only. I guess I am the only Steve that's ever been on this podcast.
So there you go, the Steve.
Yeah.
And I'm the Lindsay.
Yeah. Wow. Everyone's real lucky today. So if you want to know what shows Lindsay's been watching, go back to previous episodes.
It's changed. But also, I'm not going to answer the question again because I don't even know.
I feel like I probably said that you were watching, Ever After High or something like that.
Yeah, that was stupid. That was really dumb. I haven't watched that in years.
We watched Alice in Borderlands.
Yeah, but I don't want that to be what is defining me.
Lindsay likes to imagine Lindsay in Borderlands, where she's the main...
Stop talking for me.
So, for new guests, what I like to ask them...
I'm not new.
I
live
new
here.
Returning guests, I have a new question.
Oh.
If they made a Baki live-action movie, you're in charge of casting, and you have to cast the actor to play Kaio Kaku.
Who's that again?
That's the star of this episode.
Oh, the Emperor guy?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay, so a little scrawny old man.
Yep.
They need prosthetics for sure, but they need to be little. Who's the guy who did the clown in it?
Oh, Bill Skarsgård?
Yeah, him.
Bill Skarsgård as Kaio Kaku, the 150-year-old
I don't know.
man.
I just feel like he's a good character actor, and he's, I don't know, he's got the cool eyes, which this guy has weird-ass eyes.
I love
it. He's skinny. I think he's tall, but whatever. And then they, they'd have to prosthetic the age anyways, so whatever. Go with a young guy.
That's great. All right, well, the BCU, the Baki Cinematic Universe, is coming together. We've got the guy from Squid Game's going to play Yujiro.
Wait,
Bill
which
Skarsgård.
guy? The main guy from
Yeah, because he has
Squid
red hair at the end of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be weird. Because that's this fight.
Yeah, well, we've already cast that.
Wait, are they going to give him a muscle suit?
No, well, Yujiro's only 200 pounds apparently.
Yeah, that was so stupid.
Fun fact, I think I am bigger than Yujiro, so now I think I could take Yujiro.
I think when he stands on a scale, he does his magic thing, and he's he just breathes in and makes himself like a balloon. He
uses his muscles to literally lift himself off the earth,
and that's how he's lighter than you'd think he was with his giant muscles.
It's impressive. Mm-hmm. So the end of last episode, we
saw it in this, which was weird. Do they normally do that?
No, not often.
We had a weird little recap for 5 seconds.
Yeah, I feel like they just wanted to spread this episode out a little bit.
Maybe. Also, I'm really annoyed that you made me watch the opening credits again.
It's so great. It's my favorite one.
It's really not. I hate it.
Anyway.
I honestly, I like, I don't know, animated stuff. I like manga stuff. Mm-hmm. Is there another word?
Anime.
Just anime? Okay. Well, yeah. I like anime. But I don't usually like their openings. And we've talked about this because I'm just not a fan of them giving away half their show in their openings.
Yeah, no, this is true. Because we're watching... I make sure that I'm always watching one good anime to balance out Baki. So we were watching Spy Family, which has a very well-produced opening.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Everyone needs to watch it.
So the episode starts. Yujiro comes out. He's the captain of the Japanese American.
You're getting ahead of yourself. The episode starts showing how Baki won the last fight. And then the announcer does the funniest spiel I've ever heard in my life, where he basically goes,
And just like that, 4 of the 5 matches are done. The score sits at 3-1. And that means... this Chinese coalition force has been defeated!
You know, the guy on our team promised 5 wins, and the Chinese world is in ruins now, and it just cuts to all the audience sad, looking disbelief.
Their supporters, once so proud and hopeful, are now absolutely stunned and demoralized. Their hopes completely dashed.
And then the announcer guy goes, it's 3-1, so we've lost. Even if we win the next one, we've lost. And then there's the girl crying in the audience. Like, it was just so dramatic and amazing and stupid all at the same time.
It's the worst day in Chinese history.
They're
going to scrub it from the records book. You won't be able to find this if you search for it. Well, that's why it was
a secret tournament in case they had to just... So anyways, and then Yujiro comes out, and, like, it's so weird, too. Like, because he basically is like...
No other master has climbed so high. It's been over 100 years, and in all that time, he has never once veered from the path of martial arts. You should all be very proud of him. Kaio Emperor Kaku is Chinese martial arts itself.
What does he say? He says, like, you guys have the best man in the world on your team.
You guys should be proud. You've got this 140... He conquered everything. He conquered illness, old age.
Oh, yeah. It's almost like a backhanded compliment. Like, he's complimenting that one dude, but he's basically like, nobody else in China is any good. They all lose to illness, to old age, to just being bad and not dealing
Honestly,
with the training.
fair. Like, he's not wrong.
Okay, but then you literally... Like, I don't know. Would he say the same thing about Japan and stuff when they have like 3 or 4 guys that he considers friends there and stuff? I don't know.
Yes. I think Yujiro would say this to everybody.
I guess.
You know what this scene reminded me of? I didn't get a chance to talk to you about this, but I watched this clip, and it was the Harlem Globetrotters versus my favorite team, the Washington Generals.
Yeah.
And the Globetrotters come out, and they're about to win the game with a final slam dunk, and he misses, and so they lose the game. That's the end of the game.
What?
So, of course, that's not how the game can end. Mm-hmm. So, a few minutes later, one of the Washington Generals guys comes out and he goes, hey, you guys, we're so confident that we can beat you that we're going to take it to overtime. And we're going to do it again. And that's what it felt like when Yujiro came out. Like, he was just like, we won too early, so... Scrap it all. This fight matters.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of watching it. It reminded me of if you watch wrestling.
Yeah.
And it's like they're acting like, you know, because there's always the smaller fights and then there's the big fight at the end, right? Mm-hmm. But sometimes the smaller fights are actually way more interesting than the big fight. And it almost felt like he didn't want that to happen. He didn't want it to be like, he didn't want anyone to leave early. Like, he's like, my fight's going to be so freaking cool. You better stay, so I'm going to up the ante to make sure people stay. Like, that's, to me, what he was doing.
Yeah.
Because, like, honestly, Yujiro reminds me of just, like, a child's way of thinking.
A very strong child.
No, not him. I just mean his thinking. Like, just this idea, like the idea, firstly, the idea of just being like, I want to be the strongest man in the world is very childlike.
It's something every man does think at some point in his
Probably
life.
when they're 4 or 5. And then, so just this idea of being like, oh, we already won, I haven't gotten a turn yet, and being like, hey, wait, let me just, you know, anyways. So, so he basically says, if I lose, then it's, then all the other 3 fights don't matter, so that would mean...
Then it's a 5-0 for China, which is so dumb.
It's not really a 5-0, it would just be a 2-0.
If I lose this match, my team's previous 3 wins don't count.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, you would just be...
No, he reverses it.
I don't know.
Kaio Han has now beaten Muhammad Ali.
Like, I'd be pissed if I was, like, who is it? Like, Muhammad Ali Jr., Baki, and who's the other one that won for them? Oliver.
Oliver, yeah.
Like, I'd be annoyed if I was like, he's just basically... It nullified ours.
The good thing is, you know, none of them, I think, care that much.
That's true.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, that's fair.
They're here to collect the non-existent paycheck. So the fight is about to begin. We wheel in Kaio.
Does he
Kaku.
wheel himself in?
I think he wheels himself in.
Right.
steps out of the wheelchair, and immediately uses his wrist to flip the wheelchair into Yujiro.
Can I just say, why the hell does he have a wheelchair?
He's really old.
Yeah, but, like, he walks around without it.
You can't ask somebody why they have a wheelchair.
When they stand up and start walking around and fighting, I can. Like, I don't want to pull this, like, I have a friend card, but, like, I had a friend who was in a wheelchair, and I learned a lot about it, and I mean, even without a friend in a wheelchair, it seems pretty obvious that people shouldn't just randomly be using wheelchairs. Like, was he just tired? Like, I have so many, I'm not even saying he shouldn't, I'm just saying, like, no explanation of why he comes out in a wheelchair. Like, if he's tired, why not leave it at the door?
It might just be that he wanted something he could throw at Yujiro.
I feel like it was just him pretending to be an old man, which feels shitty. It really does.
Well, if they didn't bring in the wheelchair, they wouldn't be able to do my favorite part of the whole fight, which is Yujiro catches the wheelchair, of course, spins it around
with one finger.
Like he's one of the Harlem Globetrotters.
No, but he catches, like, the handle is, like, what is it, curved or whatever, and he catches it on one finger, and then, like you said, like, spins it around, and the big smile on his face. You can't tell me that isn't, like, childlike.
Oh, it's completely childlike. And he starts pushing, he puts the wheelchair back on the ground.
Oh yeah, instead of throwing it back, he just, like, puts it down softly.
He gestures, Kaiokaku comes and sits down in the chair, and they start walking around in circles around the match.
And then we get a weird butt shot of Yujiro pushing him, which I was like, this is weird.
Any shot of Yujiro's butt's gonna be weird. That guy's got a weird physique. But what I enjoy about this so much is, like, well, your favorite franchise, so, like, Harry Potter, I think always gets clowned on because...
The movies?
Not just the movies.
I think
this is a fair...
The movies are not my favorite, but yes, go on.
I think there's a flaw of the books, too, that the Triwizard Tournament is a horrible spectacle sport because most of the events either happen underwater or in a big maze.
Absolutely.
And I think the Grand Raitai Tournament is probably
similar.
The only thing that can rival it. Like, these Chinese fighters, after getting a huge pep talk of, like, we're going to get to see some action, are then treated to a minute of the Japanese fighter wheeling their competitor around on a wheelchair. And it's,
and the thing that always makes me laugh is, like, the audience can't hear them. Like, even later in the episode, I mean, spoiler alert.
They go, that's Shaori.
Yeah, like, so Baki and
Retsu,
Eyebrow Man, they're talking about what he's doing and saying, like, oh, he copied him or whatever. And then, like, 2 seconds later, we cut to the audience and he's like, is he copying him? Like, is that the same thing? And I'm like, right, they can't hear them. Like, it just, like, that'd be so boring to do whenever they're not punching each other. And I feel like, having listened to you talk about all of them, all of the fights have been super boring for the audience. Like, one punch or like a weird, like, move. Like, no one's done anything all that exciting. So, like, probably when this dude threw the wheelchair, they were like, whoa, this is the finale, folks.
I'm trying to think through. If I was an audience member, I think the only fight that was enjoyable would be Oliver versus
hands would have been fun.
I was gonna say that would be infuriating if I was cheering for Retsu and he kept going in for the handshake. I would just be like,
yeah, but at least there'd be something to be mad about rather than just bored.
So that one would be okay, and Oliver's hand pockets I think would be the best.
Oh, that would have
been
so funny.
Also,
I just realized they used that trick again.
Which trick?
I don't want to say good guy. The guy we know, copying the moves of the other person and learning it really fast.
I will say,
I don't just doing it to mock them.
Yes, although I will say there's a difference in that I don't think Oliver really mastered it.
Sure. Okay, sorry, I'm skipping ahead.
Yes.
So he's wheeling him around.
Yeah. Eventually the fight does start. I think Kaku jumps out of his wheelchair, causing it to explode into a million pieces.
And the audience is like, whoa! And I was like, wow, the fact that that's the most exciting thing that's happened in this tournament.
So this fight, as described, it's sort of described incorrectly, but I think intentionally to sort of trick the audience. It's described as ultimate force versus ultimate technique, or reason, as they use as a synonym.
Oh, I see. So what you're saying is that for you, this match is a test of whether reason can truly stand against strength.
Actually, it's just the opposite, Yujiro. This isn't a test of martial arts. In reality, it's a test of strength. You must prove yourself to me.
And the idea is that Kaku has been around 150 years. And over that time, his muscles have decayed, but his technique...
He tells us his whole backstory, which is...
excruciating.
Like, so annoying. And I honestly thought about it. I was like, how can you be 150 years old and doing all this work and not have any muscles? Like, he's, like, scrawny. And then they answered my question for once, which was surprising, honestly, for Baki. And then they were like, he was the most physically fit man. How old is he now? 150?
A little under that. I think 146.
Okay. So he was like 46 because he said 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I'm the most physically fit man and I could, kill anyone. I was so strong, whatever. And then basically someone beat him and changed his whole philosophy. And then he went into like reason. And then it took him what, I guess 55 years then, because it wasn't, he said he learned it when he was 100.
Yeah.
Right?
Around then.
Okay. And like, so during that time he lost all his muscles. Oh yeah, and he was answering because Yujiro was like, what's the best thing and worst thing you've lost? And he said, strength to both. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's I'd love hearing that if I was his son there or any of his family.
His son sucks. He's probably glad he lost.
Yeah, but how many
He probably
kids
wishes
must
he
he
lost
have?
his son earlier.
How many kids must he have at 150?
Not a lot, because he gave up women, so...
But he didn't. That's the funny thing.
I like to think that was like a cloning thing by the
Well,
Chinese
you know what
government.
Yujiro would say to that, as for the last episode that I watched.
Oh, you gotta do it. Do it some more.
So he made the wrong choice.
No wonder he's so weak. But it's funny. So, but what I was gonna say is, it's framed as ultimate technique versus ultimate strength.
Yeah.
But the problem is, Yujiro is incredibly strong and also probably the most technique excelling fighter in the show.
Yeah, I feel like ultimate technique versus strength should have been like Oliver. Mm-hmm. Right? He is just full like push ahead. Like, he's not dumb, but he's not a technique guy. He's more like book smart.
And we've seen how this goes also, because Oliver fought Shibukawa ages ago and got just humiliated.
Oliver did?
Yeah. In that case where it was technique versus strength. But then in later fights, he wins. so it's not really that consistent.
But those weren't ultimate, Steve.
Exactly. So
then we learn what the ultimate technique
well,
really is.
that's the funniest thing. You'd assume that over 150 years he picked up a lot of techniques, but it turns out it's just one. And it's called Shaori.
Shaori.
I think Retsu says it like 9 times.
Shaori.
Oh my god.
We're having a competition. Go to the Discord and tell us who said it better. Shaori.
I know there's something to put in the polls channel.
That's Shaori. The technique is Shaori.
This Shaori
Can break the Shaori?
break the Shaori.
Shaori. Shaori.
So Shaori.
Just used Shaori.
It's Shaori.
Shaori.
My Shaori versus your Shaori.
Shaori.
Shaori is basically... There's 2 halves to it. You can use it defensively or offensively.
Well, wait. Okay. But didn't he make that up? That was the vibe I got.
What?
The
Itagaki?
offense.
Oh, the offense?
Like, they seemed extra surprised by that.
I don't think he made up parts of it. I think he made up the idea that it's used in martial arts that way. But the idea of relaxing yourself in like a baseball throw or things like that
that was
are real.
stupid.
Those are real. This was touched upon last season when people slapped each other really hard. It was because they loosened their arms to get more elasticity. You know?
Yeah, but that's not what he was doing.
It really wasn't. He did like an uppercut.
That's what I mean. It was almost more like he went slowly and just didn't tense up.
Well, let's explain what Shaori is first, just for the listeners. So,
Shaori.
The basic concept is the idea that you want to be relaxed and not tense.
Yeah.
So if you were to get punched, you know, it's going to be a lot worse if your body is tensed and like
it's
not
that whole
flexible.
idea. I mean, I feel like I've definitely heard it before. Like, people are like, you know, oh, in a car accident or something, you want to just relax your body,
Mm-hmm.
or like if you fall down, you want to just like try and relax and not tense
It's
up.
like when you throw a baby out the window. They're going to be
that
fine.
was so dumb.
Adults can actually fall and break their bones, while babies can remain uninjured, even if they fall from a great height. Nature has provided this knowledge.
They literally were describing it, and they were like comparing things that were so stupid. I don't remember what the other one was, but the one that sticks out is the one where they're like, it's like an adult can fall down and break a bone, but a baby can be thrown from high heights and be okay. And the picture they showed was a baby who had seemingly fallen out, like a full-on baby.
Parking garage.
And it was like 3 things high. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's wild.
Sorry. Your face.
Just pretending that would work. Sorry, my headphones died, so we took a brief pause there.
No, don't use this in your... Oh god.
So, Shaori.
Shaori.
It's when you throw a baby out of the window
No, it's
and
not.
he's okay in the end.
It's basically meditation while you're being punched.
Yeah.
But it was also just like relaxing your muscles and stuff. So it was like basically Yujiro punched him, and Baki Baki and Retsu. Oh yeah, we forgot to say Retsu walks over to Baki where they're in the spot where they've all been like watching the fights, and he's like,
they're in the wings.
Hey, can I be here with you? And Baki's like, oh, like I guess
so
they're
weird.
not
It was
teammates.
like asking permission.
Well, I guess because they're on different teams
Yeah.
now. But then they were like, and then Baki kind of went from like, oh my gosh, to like, yeah, cool, whatevs. And then like, they just continued on.
May I watch from here? With you? Yeah, of course.
And then so yeah, Yujiro punches old man, and then he lets his jaw dislocate so that it can take the punch, I guess. And so Baki's like, oh, he dodged it. And then Retsu is like, nah, he took the punch. It's Shaori.
This would be the equivalent of if I punched somebody so hard that they flipped over backwards and then they just go, but I was relaxed. So
I mean, that happened multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an impressive move.
Yeah. And then eventually he starts attacking forward, and he does a punch to Yujiro, which looks like nothing.
Now I have to counteract you once.
What did I miss?
We missed how Yujiro got around this with the hair's pluck.
Oh yeah, that was so
technique.
good.
So, Kaio Kaku, 150 years he spent practicing being relaxed in a fight. So the way Yujiro gets around
and he also starts it by going, I'm going to break your Shaori. Sorry.
Prize winner right there.
Darn. I'm gonna break it. And then Baki's like, oh, I've never heard him tell a lie. He's gonna break it.
My dad doesn't bluff.
And then Retsu is like, he's gonna break the 100 years of whatever. Oh my god, it was just so funny.
So Kaku comes up, tries to punch Yujiro, but before he can, Yujiro plucks one of his hairs on his face, causing his face to involuntarily tense for a moment, and then Yujiro just does the most half-hearted punch, but at the end of the day, he's punching an old man, and actually gets a good hit.
But not really.
I don't think he was trying to. I think he was just sort of
showing
flexing.
him he could. Yeah, you're probably right.
But then, for the first time in the series, and the only time I've ever seen, at least in Baki 2018 and Baki Hanma, Yujiro is on the defensive.
Well, and we know that because Baki yells it, basically.
Wait, what the hell's going on here? Dad, no! You idiot! What are you scared of?
Old man comes up to him and does this scrawny little punch, but we as the audience can see his arm is purple.
Yeah.
But it's very confusing because it's we can tell it's powerful, but also he just kind of touches Yujiro with it, and Yujiro backs up and he's like, oh my god, and he's looks scared, and then Baki's like, my dad is on the defense?
He touched it. Dad is on the defense?
And Yujiro's just running away, he backed up into the wall
with the most scared look on his face.
What's the Japanese guy running from?
I think they were just happy to give him a different facial expression for once. They were like, wow, we get to draw him not muscular face looking angry.
Yujiro does have two faces. He has
sorry.
I'm going to kill you maniacal face, and that's the funniest thing I've ever heard, laughing face.
Are they that different though? Slightly.
The eyebrows are different.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So then he backs up, and then everyone is all like confused, like the audience, and they're all like, "Whoa, what's happening? Like that was a weak punch." Hi, Bubby. Hi, Johnny. Johnny's here, everyone. Say hi, Johnny. Well, he sniffed it, so.
He's a husky. They don't speak much.
So basically, then Yujiro's like against the wall, and he goes up to do another punch, and as he punches, Yujiro moves out of the way, and his like lame ass punch like breaks the wall, and everyone's like, "Whoa!" And he's like, "Oh, now you know." Oh, he even has that moment where he's like, "You almost died. You don't have to believe me, but you almost did." And it was just like, okay, bro, like.
You barely escaped death. That's right, strong man. You were about to die just then.
I don't know.
Kaku's
They both talk a
great.
big game.
Yeah. So this is offensive Shaori. This is the idea that to have a powerful punch or baseball pitch or any real sporting activity relies on a combination of tension and elasticity.
Now, here's the thing. I actually thought it was going to be like you took the punch into your face and stored the energy and it came back out. Like, I thought it was going to be something like that. But the idea that it wasn't that, I'm like, why is Shaori better than just dodging? Like, doesn't Muhammad Ali Jr. just dodge?
Yeah, but Muhammad Ali Jr. He has a good 120 years on the other guy. I feel like this is a good martial arts style if you have arthritis, as you can just get punched in the face repeatedly.
How is that better?
Might even be a little massage.
If you're
for
older,
muscles.
shouldn't you, you're just saying he's slow?
I think he's quite slow. Even his punches are slow.
That's true. So, yeah, okay. So, what happens next? I don't even remember. Oh, the best part happens next. I forgot. So then basically, the third time, old man comes at him with a punch. Whoa! Yujiro turns the tables. He uses Shaori.
It's very impressive. Yeah, so Yujiro
Gets punched.
Yeah, he gets punched.
Kind of.
Does a little hand wave
The
thing.
best thing I've ever seen was Yujiro doing the, like, I can't even describe it. It's like if you take your hands and then you start doing circles, but like one right hand and left hand in. Oh, I'm breaking things. Sorry. Right hand then left hand in. And he
it's Shaori. My desk
I'm
can't
doing
handle
Shaori.
this.
And it's just like he loosens his body. Like, it looks like the weirdest dance you've ever seen.
Yeah. Editor Steve here. Our dog was with us for the recording. If you hear any suspicious noises, it's great. And the funniest thing is so Kaku starts being like, we can have a match between two Shaori users.
Oh, yeah.
And then Yujiro
Well,
says...
we have to describe, too, Baki and Retsu are literally like, did he just learn it from watching? And Retsu is, like, pretty pissed. Because, like, this is the ultimate Chinese move, and he just, like, learned it from watching.
It's 4,000 years of martial arts leading into one guy studying it for 150 years. And then Yujiro just does it in a just...
Who even knows how long these matches last, honestly?
Oh, could be. That's 10
6
seconds. So Yujiro has one of my favorite... This is why Yujiro is a great character. He's just so...
I will say.
Like, over the top.
Mm-hmm.
So he's now, after using Shaori perfectly, which was previously described as the ultimate technique, he just says, and I'm never using it ever again. It's not my style.
I'm never gonna use Shaori again. I just wanted to mock you for flaunting your moves so arrogantly.
Then he punches the ground.
He literally says, I only used it to mock you.
This guy's mocking Shobun.
Yeah. Who's Shobun?
That's a quote from another episode.
Oh.
Shobun Ron.
Hey, get those other episodes out of here. This is Lindsay's episode.
This guy's mocking Kaio Kaku.
I mean, it's not that hard to mock someone whose last name is Kaku.
It's so rude.
I mean, it's true.
So, Yujiro, his style is more punching the ground.
Well, he even does say, he's like, oh, I'll show you style. And then the old man is like, the young telling me how to have style? And I'm just like, I don't understand that. Like, does that mean you as an older man would have more style? Like, you might have your own style, but not modern style. But, like, I'm not going to Yujiro for style tips. He wears the same, like, outfit every time we've ever seen him. He probably only has the one because nothing else fits his weird frame.
I've seen him wear a Speedo before, but yeah, that's
okay,
that's
but
about
that's
it.
under.
Yeah,
like, that's
at all
he
times.
wears. He just wears the Speed. That's really just his underwear, and that's all he's got.
So I wanted to get your thoughts on a little bit of Baki history.
Oh yeah, that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, more or
like
less.
literally, he punches it, and then I go, "Are you kidding? They didn't even finish this fight. All I get to watch is these two random old people fighting." And then I was annoyed. We didn't even watch the end credits. I'm realizing, do we?
Yeah, it's
that running one, right?
Yeah, it's the running
it's
up
lame.
that hill.
Anyways, sorry. What do you want my thoughts on?
So, Yujiro punching the ground is reminiscent of one of his most famous feats, where
Fighting a tiger?
no, an earthquake happens, and he punches the ground, and the earthquake stops. Now, canonically, there's nothing to confirm that him punching the ground stopped the earthquake. However, it did. So, what are your thoughts on that?
We're making it canon right now.
No, I'm just saying that when he punched the ground, the earthquake did stop.
Yeah.
Do you think that he could do that? Like, do you think he could do that again?
Are you asking me if I think he has that ability?
Yeah, like
or are you asking me how strong I think he is?
Like, do you think if there was an earthquake, he could go 1 second, honey, and then punch the ground and stop the earthquake?
No, because logically that's not how you would stop an earthquake. Like, why would punching the ground stop an earthquake?
What if
like,
he put his hand on it and absorbed it with Shaori?
Okay, something bullshit like that I would believe more than I punched the ground and it stopped an earthquake. Like, that's my point. Like, do I believe he's strong enough to, like... I believe he's strong enough to punch and create an earthquake because of the stupid feats he does. But I don't believe punching the ground, no matter how strong you are, would stop an earthquake. Like, that literally just doesn't make sense. Do I believe if he was old enough, he did... what's the thing where they were one continent and then they all went to...
Oh, Pangea?
Yeah. If they did a prequel and they said he punched the earth and it was Pangea, like, I'd be like, okay.
That was Pickle doing that.
Actually?
No, but Pickle...
That would be good.
Fun thing about Pickle...
That's the caveman guy, right?
when he does come up, is that he canonically lived at the same time as the dinosaurs.
Oh.
So it's... I don't know if
plausible.
that means that the dinosaurs lived, like, closer to our time, or that he lived closer to dinosaur time.
Or both.
Yeah.
It means that they didn't feel like doing research, like always.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm just happy to see Yujiro win.
He didn't win yet.
I mean, win. Okay, this is like
I mean,
way off topic, but
yeah.
there's this TikTok channel that keeps coming up on my feed, and it's called Running the Gauntlet, and he's picked 9 characters that sort of scale up in power.
Oh, yeah.
And the idea is, where do they stop? So, like, the first one's like a little battle droid from Star Wars, and then you get a T-Rex. So the 4th level is Yujiro Hanma. And I've never seen him win, because he's always going up. It'll be like Godzilla versus Yujiro Hanma.
I think he could take Godzilla.
I think he could. Like,
not that I want him to. Like, he's not a good guy. But, like, I feel like, you know how with Hulk, it's like however angry he is, he can be as strong as they need him to be. I feel like Baki in general is just written like that.
Yeah.
Like, every character is just as strong as they feel like them being, and because they've canonically in their world said he's the strongest, no matter what anyone else in the world does, like the Shaori, they're like, okay, well, he's gonna be better at it and just stronger than them.
Anyway, getting into other threads here. So, Lindsay, my wife.
You can't set yourself up and then make the joke.
No, it's very funny. I was playing into it.
Whatever.
You've now watched 1 million episodes of Baki.
I don't really remember half of them and how they string together, but yes, I've watched a lot.
What would you give this episode out of 10?
Oh, it's low. Like, some of them are actually entertaining. Don't get me wrong, I still stand by my no, it's not a good show. Mm-hmm. But, like, I've definitely gotten sucked in when you've been watching it before. Yeah. Because it's the type of show where you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And
you're like, where is this going to go?
Yeah, and characters like Yujiro. Why did I just, like, make him a girl?
I'm talking to my dad too much.
Did he call her? Did he call you? Oh, my God.
Well, he calls Yujiro Jushiro for some reason, but
Oh, that's
also
actually a nice name.
he did think that he was a girl for most
Oh yeah,
of the
because
episode.
the long hair and stuff.
And the big pecs.
Oh, true. Okay, so Yujiro is an interesting character, literally just because, like you said, he does weird things where it's like, oh, how is he gonna beat this Shaori? And it's like, oh, he's gonna use Shaori, and it's like, nah, I'm never gonna use it again. You know, like he does stuff like that, and it's really funny. So things like that, and like there's very few characters that you can actually follow in Baki. Like, you know, like in the first season, Baki was barely in it, so it's like hard to follow. So I don't know. In that sense, I like these episodes better because you can actually follow the main like 5 or so fighters.
True.
But this episode of the Raitai tournament, I think, is really boring in terms of it doesn't end the fight. Like, I don't like that. Like, as much as the other ones were too short, it's like, why did they pad it? Just do the whole fight in this. I don't know. That was annoying.
I agree, and I think that the craziest part of this fight is how it ends, and so you lose a bit of that.
Well, and then it's just such a, like, the thing is, it's not even like a tense moment. Like, I think if they were gonna cut it into 2 parts, they should have had the old man winning.
Yeah, like maybe like a moment where like the cracks in the wall and Yujiro's face is twitching.
And he's scared. That would have been good. But Baki always has, this show always has such weird places to end episodes sometimes, and I'm like, they kind of ended it with Yujiro's on top, and I'm just like, oh, okay. I don't know. There's no tension. There's no reason for me to really watch another episode. Like, you even asked me, you're literally, because I was like, really, it's over? And you were like, do you want to watch how it ends? I was like, no. Like, you know, but seriously, there's other episodes of Baki where I'm like, yeah, what are they going to do next? Or or that was crazy, or whatever. And that, so, I don't know. No. Wait, what was the question? Oh, out of 10.
It gets a no out of 10.
A no out of 10, folks. No, I don't know, like 4.
All right.
It's got, you know, some fun ideas, but that's what it is.
And I give it a 14, so it's going to average out
What?
to a 9 out of 10.
No! Also, how does that? No.
That's how it works.
No.
All right. Well.
Johnny said 0, so.
Is that what you said, bud?
He's wagging his tail, yes. So it's a 4.5.
All right. Well, we're going to...
Wait, that's not the right math. Don't listen to me.
No, it's really not. So that's the end of this episode. Thank you once again to my wife for coming upstairs to record this. There you go. See, it just gets better.
It'll be funnier when I say it.
Yeah.
People will like it better.
I'm thinking I'm going to release another best of episode next week with just this episode. It'll be the best
Perfect.
of 2023.
I love it.
It'll just be a repeat of this episode.
You're just trying to take another break.
No. Well, I'm sure I'll take a week or 2 off after we finish this season.
Yay, I'll have my husband back.
But that's all the Baki we've got to talkie. See y'all next week.
Wait, I'm going to say something this time. Hello and goodbye. Wait, what's that quote from The Truman Show?
If I don't see you, then good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Well, you didn't say the whole thing.
Friday.